Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. I'm Kasey.
I'm Sandra, and today we are welcoming a relatively new initiate to supernatural. Crowleysmistress is a Samifer lover whose philosophy is pro-ship, even if not my personal headcanon. Straight from her Tumblr bio, she believes fanfic helps process life, improve writing skills, and make online friends. We've had the wonderful opportunity to have Crowleysmistress be a part of our Discord server and can affirm she shares and exemplifies those beliefs in our community. We're looking forward to a chat on fanfic, fandom, and much fanning over Sam. So, big thanks for joining us, and welcome to the podcast, Crowleysmistress. Yay!
Hey.
Thank you for joining us.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
joining us.
I guess we can skip the first question.
Oh, no. We're still going to ask it. We're still going to ask
there's
it.
a tab.
We
I
always do
don't
it.
have open now. I don't have hang on.
We always
No, don't carry on
do
with
that
that
question. No, what happened? You missed a tab?
I didn't open my Blobos tab.
Sometimes we hint at it and stuff. I mean, you could still be fanning, and then there could be other thing involved too. But thank you for joining us. We love having you in our server. So it's been fun to get to know you a little bit on there. And then we're hoping from just like the questions and answers, there's a lot of stuff to dive into with fandom, fanfic, and all the good things. So yeah, thanks for taking time with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
I wanted to start way back in just how you actually got into supernatural.
How did I get into supernatural? I think it was so I started watching. I think I was recovering from a surgery, and I had time to watch something. And it was 2023. It was summer of 2023, and I just watched it on Netflix, and nada, God, it's hooks in me. Obviously, it's like what?
Yeah.
And my partner was like, they had been telling me to watch it since I don't know, like 100 years, because they had watched it before, and I was like, no, that looks really cheesy. I don't want to watch it. And then when I started watching it, I was like, why didn't you tell me to watch this before? And they're like, I didn't tell you to watch it before.
Why didn't you tell me? I did so many times. You kept ignoring me. Yes, well,
exactly.
Like problem,
I was like, well, you didn't tell me, sufficiently.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it like right away, or like because you said like, was it like from the very first episode, or did it take a little while for you to watch?
First episode. No, it was first episode when La Llorona gets on top of Sam. I was like, oh, they are going there. I was like, phew, that's it. Yes.
Okay.
Right there. That was there. That was it. That was like, oh, first of all, it was La Llorona, which is, I'm Latina. And so they started off with a very, traditional folkloric, monster of the week story that is very well known in the Latino community. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then I am totally into the whole processing the bodily autonomy or lack of. And that first episode just grabbed it there, and it was against a male, and I was like, whoa, and they're going there. And so it was just like, that for me was it. You know?
Did they get the folklore pretty spot on, or did they kind of like, so like when you saw that, were you like, yes, this makes total sense. I've heard about this.
More at the beginning when the guy's picking her up. That there they had it. Towards the end where it's like, oh, I can never go home and so forth. There they kind of messed it up a little bit because they were doing merging of different stories of the Llorona because they wanted to make it a little bit more generic and more of a merging of different stories of women in white.
Yeah.
And so since they wanted to kind of like melting pot it, they kind of did it a little bit more generic. But at the beginning with the whole story of like you see an apparition on the side of the road and she gets in and so forth, that part was very standardized and very much the folklorical story that you would normally hear. And the whole like seductress part and like, feeling like you're under her power and so forth. That was very standard, what you would hear for La Llorona, and the whole story of like, everybody knows that on this section of the road, you see a woman, and it's usually because, the loss of the child and so forth. So all of those were like check marks, and that was fun. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of like growing up supernatural-ish stories just in general that you'd hear like from family members? Because I know I was like, oh my gosh.
La Llorona. Everybody's heard of La Llorona.
Yeah, yeah.
And I grew up in a very mountainous area. And so, you know, you go up the mountain and there's always a section where it's like, oh, here's like, you know, you got to go
where weird
past
stuff
this section
happens.
really fast because, you know, weird stuff happens. Yes. So, yeah. There's always that section, and there's always the, you know, the section where you hear noises and you're not supposed to answer and so forth. Yeah.
How about like ghosts and stuff too? Was that like a big thing sort of like growing up? Because I know my mom was all about that too. Like, you know, like all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you had to deal with that too.
Well, I mean, do you want to get into my growing up now? Or?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So, well, I grew up a little bit non-traditional. And so, so I grew up in a community that was an intentional community. So intentional communities are basically whenever it's a PC word for like a commune, basically. And so, yeah. And so basically an intentional community can be anything from a monastery or it could be co-op living, or it can be anybody that has like a group of people that are living together with a united purpose. But in the 70s, it was more of like a commune. And so in my case, we grew up with a lot of beliefs that were more geared towards like spiritual living or survivalist living and stuff like that. And so for us, like ghost or spiritual like leadership or like, for example, if like I saw, for example, like a light or something like that, they would be like, oh, what color was it? And I'd be like, oh, like light blue or whatever. And my mom would be like, oh, that's fine. That's a good one. You know, it's like, don't worry about that. That's a good one. You know, so I wasn't raised like, I wasn't raised like, you know, and I would run off like terrified. Oh, I saw light. And I was like, what color was it? Oh, it's light blue. Oh, that's fine. That's a good one. Like, okay,
I'll trust you on that one. All right, I got.
And be like, go back to bed. That's a good one. Like, okay, crap. And then, you know, or like you would be actively seeking out like trying to hear messages from beings from another place. And then they'd be like, okay, get into this headspace or get into this meditation. And then I, like, if you would fall asleep, like what happened to me, for example, I would fall asleep and then be like, yeah, you're not ready. You're not worthy. You're not ready. That's why you can't get this message, you know? And so, you know, so it's different than other people in that sense. Other people might be like, oh, you know, you grow up and you're like, oh, you saw a ghost, or you might hear something and it would be different than what my experiences might be, because we were raised to actively look or seek or try to
like connect almost in a way,
foster or connect with those entities or beings. So
my experience was like, no, these are all things to stay away from, like superstitious, like, you know, that kind of stuff, like from back in like my family coming from Italy was just very much like, no, these are all the bad things you just stay away from. Like my mom will not watch Supernatural because of all like the demons and all that stuff. Like she's just like, no, this is too much. I don't like this. I don't need to dream about this stuff. Like that kind of a thing. Like, so that kind of.
Oh no, like in my family, like the dreaming is really important. And like, we were fostered to learn to follow the dreams and like, and you know, like these jokes of people that like wake up and it's like you fight with your partner because they, you know, cheated on you in a dream or something like that. Family, that's like totally legit. It's like, you know, they did it in the dream. That's true, you know.
You were thinking about it.
No, it's valid because you dreamt it. It's like on the astral plane. It means that it really happened, and like the energy, your spirit guides were telling you, they were warning you, and it's true, you know. And so it's like. And so, and we were taught to astral travel, and we were taught to connect with your spiritual guides, and we were taught. You mentioned, like, for example, one of them, like the astrology. So, like, I was taught to do. Like, somebody was asking me like the other day. They're like, "Oh, like, what did people do before?" And I was like, like I learned how to do that, but like before there was like, solar flare or any of those things, like I was taught to do it like from like a freaking new moon and like a conjunction and like how to do it like manually,
Yeah.
And so yeah, so yes, it's like when people talk about like doing a chart, for me it's like I don't associate it as like something fun. I associate it like to hard work.
Gotcha.
Because it's like, they would spread it out on the table and it would be like doing mathematical calculations and like learning how to do it, like backtracking it for like all the way back to like the last solar conjunction and like the new moon and the tracking it. And like I learned how to calculate it in my brain, like, oh, they were born at this time, so every 2 hours, tick, 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 tick,
Oh wow.
So for me it was never fun.
Yeah, that genuinely, that sounds like a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a lot of work, and now you just pop it in the computer and it goes tick, tick,
Yeah.
And so and like that one that I did like for Sam's birthday, which I did it for the birthday bonanza.
Yeah.
I did it because somebody, the other girl, the one that provided his birthday, I did it because she had published something and she was like, oh, his moon is a whatever. And I automatically read it. And I'm like, that is not his moon. Because like my brain automatically does it, right? Because I've learned how to do it for so many years.
Yeah.
And I wrote to her and I was like, oh, but I don't think, I was like, no, because the moon would have been in such, And then I calculated it, and if you look at it, I mean, it was like 3,000 words or some crap like that, right? And like I said, I look at it and I do deep dive. Like for me, it's work. It takes me a long time, and it's work, right? And I was like, and I was telling Nightbreaker, who's one of my friends, and they do a lot of my beta. I was like, the first person who tells me, oh, you got to do it for Dean now, I'm going to throttle him.
No, this took so long. I'm not doing it again.
No, it sounds like I'm like,
I'm going to throttle the first person, the first comment that goes like, you need to do this for Dean now. And I kill him. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So, because it's like traumatic, really,
Yeah.
And so, like, ghosts and spirits are not the same thing, nor are ancestral guides. And so like all those things, like we were taught like the difference between them, and like ghosts are really agonizing while spirits are elevated.
Okay.
That's kind of the difference.
Yeah. I gotta ask then, like, just like as a show like tangent, and I know we're gonna get into the show more later, but like, then what did you think of some of the episodes, like Dream a Little Dream, where like they were like, they were going into the dreams or like the African dream route and like different things like that? Like, I mean, did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy when they went into those kinds of like areas?
So the show at the very beginning was hard for me because I was like, they're so dumb.
You didn't even know, guys. Good Lord, get it together.
The very beginning, I was like, they're so dumb. And I was like, and John did not teach them anything. What the hell? Especially the beginning and with the demons. I was like, I wanted to kill him. And I was like, until Bobby comes in and I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
They're just babies.
Just
babies thrown into everything. It's like, what the heck?
But I was like, don't they know anything? I was like, don't they know anything? And like in the different books and he's like, hang on, let me, I was just like, did he not teach them anything? They don't know anything about like these books or these right now I'm just like, hang on, let me look for this book. Hang on.
Oh no, you're fine.
Because I forgot the name. Right now. The Key of Solomon. They mentioned that like what season?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, I have it here. Yeah. Okay. It's like 5 steps away from me. And I was like, I forgot the name. I can't believe it. Okay. So Bobby mentions it like in like the 3rd season or 2nd season, whatever, when Bobby comes in. But like from the 1st season, I was like when Phantom Rider, right? Which is like the 3rd or 4th episode.
The plain one. Yeah,
the plain one when they first. And I'm like, the Key of Solomon, why do they say that they have to do this and this and this? And I'm like, why aren't they using the Key of Solomon? Why aren't they? It's right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't believe, because I mean, Dean had said in the first episode, dude, I'm 26. And I'm like, dude, you're 26. You don't know. And you don't know the Key of Solomon. You haven't read it yet. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. That might get into a lot of too, like, I mean, we've had constant conversations about John too. Like how much did he withhold for, or just like how much did he withhold for his own reasons and purposes? Like, you know, like I'm of the mindset too that I feel like I think he kept them quite dependent on him, and he could have used that, him being like sort of the foundation or funnel of information, to his advantage sometimes, you know. So that's kind of how I guess would like sort of like headcanon it in a certain way, you know, like, and then finally like pushing them out on their own, like with Dean figuring a lot of this stuff out, like when he was hunting by himself, you know, how much did he still have to go to John for info on, and how much did he start really like figuring out and learning on his own kind of a situation. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that could have happened, but yeah, it's true. Like they just did not seem to.
And without I'm not going to riff on Dean. I know I'm among Sam love company here. I'm not going to riff on Dean, but like Dean doesn't strike me as the kind of person to get into like the whys. If he knows how to kill it, I don't think he necessarily.
He doesn't really
too bothered. Yeah, he's not in for the research. Whereas Sam is like, no, I must know everything. So
right, but Sam didn't know either. It was like, why doesn't he know? You know, they should know. Neither of them, right?
Yeah.
So so I was like, but at the beginning of that first season, half of the first half season, like I had to like really work on myself to suspend my disbelief and just like go into like, okay,
like we'll find out. Maybe we'll figure out more as stuff goes on.
At the beginning, I was like, okay, they don't know. It's fine. They don't know. We're gonna step back. They don't know. That's fine. None of them knows. We're good.
Just see you on the couch, just repeating. They don't know, and it's fine. They don't know, and it's fine. They don't know, and it's fine. And then they make like one egregious fuck up somewhere in the second season, and you're like, they don't know, and it's not fine.
Yes. So that was me at the beginning, and then so I just had to like step back. You know, just namaste myself through it. Yeah. And then Bobby shows up and he's like, oh, the Key of Solomon. And I'm like, yes, finally somebody that knows.
Thank God for Bobby.
Yes. Same thing that happened when Frank showed up later on. Because the way I was raised is kind of like a combo of like Bobby and Frank. Okay. That gives you an idea, right? Yeah. So, yes. So that's the way I was raised. Those two together. So it's just like, and then I was like, oh, okay, here's mom, here's dad, you know.
My people, they know.
So, you know, Bobby season 2, Frank season 7, when was he? And then they meet, and I'm like, oh, finally. I'm like, finally. They have the instruments, they have the tools they need.
Thank goodness.
And now I feel like, they'll survive. I mean, not that they haven't, you know, but
barely. They just barely surviving all that
they
time.
Just scraping by.
Yeah.
Scraping by, and then they get thrown the rest of it, whatever. So I was like, oof.
Yeah.
Yes. You know,
goodness.
for me it was just like, I'd been suffering.
Yeah, I bet. If you have like knowledge of all this kind of stuff, me and Sandra watched it in ignorance, going, "Oh, look at that, that's nice." And you were like, "Guys, no, you fucking what?"
I mean, you guys are in the Impala, right? But it's like when Frank is like, "You guys got to get rid of the Impala," I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, I know, but it hurt.
Yeah,
it hurt. I mean, you realized it, but it hurts. It hurts to know that it had to happen. Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel the pain for them having to get rid of it, but it made perfect sense. Yeah, they had to do it.
It did.
I was like,
it did. But also, no.
I'm gonna let Kasey ask the question, and then we can get back into more
finally
stuff.
The question. I actually, I want to just bring the tone down just a little bit. It's interesting that for people who are like either like Wincest shippers or like Sam lovers, it seems to be the pilot that gets them, and it's either Dean on top of Sam or the woman in white in the car on top of Sam, and we're like, oh. Yeah. All right, is that how it's going to be? Yes, but if you can choose, I mean, I understand if you can't, if you're a bi bro or you don't want to pick or whatever, but like, do you feel like you have a blobbo between the brothers? Do you feel like you have one that is more like your person?
Yeah, I think I do.
I think you do too. Share with the class. Share with the class.
Sam.
Woo! Hype. So you want to hold the front end of the moose? I'm going to put it on the table.
Yeah,
you
sure.
Hold the
I'll go for
front end of the moose.
I'll go for
with
the
antlers. Or the ass end of the moose. Like, you could choose. I'll be benevolent.
I'll go for the antlers. He has skinny legs. You can go with the skinny legs. I'll go with the antlers. That big head.
Yeah, but have you seen his ass though? It's like a dump truck for real.
No. I'm Latina, so I'm really used to big asses, and he has skinny for me.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. That's fair. That is fair.
So why Sam?
Why Sam?
Yeah.
The big antlers.
It's gotta be more than the big antlers. Did you connect with him right away?
Like Kasey just mentioned, it's that woman in white. It's so I guess I'm Dean coded, right?
Okay.
when I watch the show, it is like I'm not Sam. I'm definitely not Sam. I'm not the introvert. I'm not the I want to save Sam, I guess, right? So definitely so. But the show is for me. It has those, and I think I sent it to you once, right? It has those layers, which I really love, where you can watch it just like, like a fun show, or you can watch it like a little bit more like the found family, or it has that whole layer where you can go into deeper themes of trauma, parentification, and so forth. The whole lack of bodily autonomy is one of the things that I like exploring within the things that I work with. And obviously he's the person that's been most violated. So that's one of the things that I definitely work with and that I see in him. Plus the freaking puppy eyes. So I'm Dean coded, right? Dean cannot get away from the puppy eyes. He goes like this, and that's it, right?
It's beautiful with his puppy eyes and his body.
His puppy eyes. And I mean, the hair, the puppy eyes, the hair, the guy's gorgeous, obviously. But yeah, the puppy eyes, the brain.
Fully respect that you can hold the antlers. Just for this episode, though, you got to give it back afterwards. You can't keep it and take it home. No. That is madness.
Got to give it to the next Sam lover.
Yeah, but we're actually. I don't want to alarm you, Sandra, but like the Sam lovers are catching up, man. It's 18 to 23.
That's good.
So we have to
get
find some Dean people.
We have. No, I think we have to get some more Sam people on too, and then we can like.
No, don't take this away from me. What am I going to whinge about? Take this from me.
Oh goodness!
I thrive on complaining.
So we talked a little bit about like growing up and like how your like community was, but it sounds like you didn't get a lot of. You said you didn't get a lot of like media in your life growing up.
There was no media. No.
Okay.
I didn't get media until I went to high school. Until college.
Okay.
Oh wow, really?
Then when you got into Supernatural, like you said, it was from your partner too, like encouraging you. But then, what did that sort of open up for you in terms of? I guess was internet like figuring out the fandom and stuff like did it all just cascade from there?
So
once you started?
Yeah. So Supernatural is the first show ever that I have ever rewatched in my whole life.
Okay.
I've never rewatched a show before. And like people that are like, oh, that's my comfort show. I rewatch it all the time, or I have it playing on loop or in the background. I've never understood that. I've never had that in my life.
Okay.
Because like I didn't watch TV until basically like the 2000s, right? So I don't like late 90s, late 98, 99, whatever. And when I did start watching TV, I didn't choose, right? Because I wasn't used to it. So I would just watch whatever like my roommates would have on or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the time that I started like engaging and like actively choosing for myself, it was more like the 2000s or whatever. And then like I have very low tolerance for shit TV because there's so much TV I haven't watched.
Right.
Yeah. it's like, oh, there's so much I don't know that I just like, I can't waste time. Right. So I'll watch something and it's like, oh, I don't like this person. I'll take it off.
Okay.
Right. I'll watch half an episode and be like, nope, not watching it. Or I'll watch one episode or whatever. And that's it. I don't give chances.
Yeah. So if somebody
like,
tells you,
I heard you say something I think you were like, oh, I watched like a whole season or something. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to watch a whole season of something if I'm not like die hard for it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So if you have somebody that like says, it really takes till about like midway through the season for it to start to get good, you'd be like, I don't have time for that. Okay. Gotcha.
Nope.
Gotcha.
It's got to get you from the first episode.
Well, thank God Supernatural did it at the first episode. Yeah, it's interesting because we have had a lot of people that have been like, it took me a little while to really kind of like, get into it. Like it wasn't just like right off the bat kind of a thing. So yeah.
I just figure there's so much media that I haven't watched that I just don't,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Are there any other shows that you like to watch like lately that have come on that kind of like have caught you like right at the start?
So like I said, the only show that I've ever rewatched is Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Supernatural is that it's also the only show up to recently that I had ever engaged in like fandom. Like I've never, so up to recently, I say, because I just recently wrote a story for Paradise.
Okay.
And so I wrote one story for it, but it doesn't have enough for me to like write more for it. Maybe one more story I could get out of it. For Sterling K. Brown. He was Gordon on the show.
Yeah.
I like him, and I watched. And so one of the things that happened was that I was like, okay, I like this actor, or I like this showrunner, or so forth. And I've been like following more along, like as I've gotten more literacy, I've been like, okay, I like Kripke. Okay, so I went and watched The Boys, but like The Boys, I only watched, I think, season 1. And then I started maybe watched 2 episodes of season 2, and then I was like, okay, it's not my jam. Okay. So I haven't watched more. And then I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes of Jensen in season 3. And I was like, it's not, I like the submission, like the Deep, right? That rift submission play between the Deep and Homelander. I like that. But the rest of it, it's just like, I don't know, maybe too gory, I guess is the word.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
So I don't like, so that other factors, I don't love them. And so
Gotcha.
I might go back, I might play on it or so, but I haven't really, it wasn't enough. I did like relationship between Homelander and Deep. I liked that one. And I did like Frenchie with his old guy, his old, like pimp or owner or whatever. But
okay.
So I like that. So I like that submission relationship, but the rest of it, not so much. And I think it's just the gore factor that I don't like. And so.
Yeah, and it's almost like
it's very. You've got to have a strong tolerance.
It's got a shock.
Kind of
it's got a shock and awe aspect to it. That's it kind of pushes the boundaries a lot.
So, and I like Kripke, and I like I like his fucked up brain, but not enough, And same thing with Sarah. I watched, I think maybe season 1, season 2 of You.
Okay.
Because You is basically reader insert in TV.
Yeah.
And so I went and watched You, and I liked it. And I liked also the literary aspect because it was like the reader insert kind of the literary aspect of it. And I watched that because I was following her to see what she did. And she's so beautiful. But again, like I get tired of things, right? So like for me, it's like Supernatural's 15 seasons and I was able to watch it.
Yeah.
And and I didn't get tired of it. And I watched it twice already. So I watched the whole twice already, and then I'm watching it now the 3rd time.
Okay.
And I watched a couple of episodes when I'm doing, because one of my favorite ways to write is episode inserts.
Okay.
So there's a couple of episodes that I've watched just independently, just when I'm doing when I'm writing, right? So I'm like, okay, so it's definitely got its hook in me.
Yeah. So. No, that's good. Hey, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So this is a loaded question, but do you have some overall thoughts about the show?
I'm scrolling, and lots of thoughts.
Feel free to hit whatever you want to hit in that. I did particularly like your answer about you feel like Cass, which I think is kind of like it's kind of spot on.
Well, I mean, that was because of the whole like the way I was raised, right?
Yeah,
I don't have. Yeah. So like I felt like I did mention that I felt like I was like Cass because I don't have a lot of references, and it happens to me a lot, right? That I don't have references from the 80s or the 90s or stuff like that, and so and I feel like Cass before the download.
Yeah.
before the download, obviously, and I mean, and I don't think the download helped him, because really after the download, when he got the download, he would be able to reference it, but it didn't come off as well. It would be like he could reference it, but it didn't, he was better before the download.
Yeah,
I agree. I liked him pre-download. I felt that there was like, I don't know, I like that kind of about him. Yeah.
And it happens to me too. I'm just like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it happens to me too. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but, and I think it helps in the sense that phrase it like that. It's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but here it is with a fresh look of like blindness,
right?
It's like I'm looking at it with a different
which
look.
is good, a different lens, right? Like yeah.
Or blindness or naivety. Like I said, when I started the show, I had to, put aside a lot of the, okay, these guys don't know shit. lens. And I think that one of the things that the show has is that there's, that thing that people say, oh, it has, what is it, a gift for everything, right?
Yeah.
It has a gift for everything. And it does. Like, I mean, I'm coming in from a background that is very non-traditional. And even coming in and judging it originally, like, oh, this show is so white, right? Because then I think you guys are going to do a show pretty soon on that, right? Because you were looking for people of color and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that came to me was like, oh, two dudes from in the middle of the United States, whatever. And one of the first things that I started was like tracking, how many people of color are there, which, shocker, not a lot. Pero it still connects. And like, I don't know if you like when you look at the numbers, but like one of the main fandoms that it has is in Brazil, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what does this show have that like people in Brazil are going so gaga over it, right? Or what does it have that people like in Italy, right? Because one of their main fandoms is the second fandom is also like in Italy, right? And you're like, what does it have that people are connecting to it so hugely,
right?
And like I said, I'm from the Caribbean, and it's just still like, and when I came into it, like, and coming from a non-traditional background, even in my country, I still go and I'm coming in with resistance, because I'm coming in and being like, oh, these dudes, right? I still sat down and still got its claws in me.
Yeah.
What does it have, right? And it's because there's this. It still had a gift for everything. It still had, I could still find, Frank. It still had, and it still had a way to represent every single person in the end, right?
Yeah.
I think that, and it didn't do it in a way that, because I don't think when you look at it, it never really poked fun at anybody. And I think that is really important, because Dean was very against witches, right? And obviously I practice witchcraft. And so at the beginning I was like, oh, right? And like my hackles were up, and I was like, oh, look at the way he talks about witches and so forth. But at the end, Rowena's like bopping him on the nose, and they're, allies, and she's sacrificing herself for him and so forth. So, and let's be clear, Sam is a witch, so. So, hello. And so, and he accepts everything for his brother. So there's nothing that you can't say there. So.
I think even the early stuff, like you say, with the witches and stuff, even when it's problematic at the start, they tend to self-correct over the course. Somebody like a Rowena character comes along and goes, have you considered no, though? Have you considered not being a fucking bigot? And brings it back around.
Right. And so when I look at the show and the way that it threads itself over and over, because when you look at it, it has a lot of repetitious patterns, right? And it kind of like threads itself over and over. And you end up with like what do they call those little balls of, when you take the balls of yarn and you just kind of like you prepare it so that you can stitch
Oh,
later
like
on.
a skein?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Supernatural does that, right? And then you end up with this big ball of yarn before you start actually stitching, or
Right.
because it doesn't want to like punch you in the face with like, boom, here it is. It just kind of like goes over and over the same themes, right? Like you said, Kasey, it kind of like self-corrects. And when you look at it, like the witches at the beginning, he was like, oh, I hate witches, but it was mostly because he hated like the fluids, and he hated like the it was like the ick. It was because they were willing to, work with like blood and guts and fluids and so forth. And he was like, right? It wasn't so much like against the person, right?
Against actual, like against the witch, just the method. And like,
the witch,
to be clear, I'm fine with blood and guts. It's the like teeth in food and that upsets.
And the brownies or whatever.
The heart and the cupcakes.
Blood in the brownies. Yeah.
Cake, teeth in the food. Oh, and that. I think it's the first witch episode where she ruins the dude's sandwich or his dinner, and it's covered in maggots and rotting.
Maggots in his burger. Yeah. I think Dean would probably hate that part, the maggots in the burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would say like, oh, blood and sweat and urine or something like that. Yeah. So it was, but at the beginning I was like, but then like I think I was doing a practice, or I was doing something, and I was using, I think it was blood. I don't remember. And I started laughing. I was like, oh, Dean would love this.
Dean would be upset by your methodology. He would be
I was doing
distressed.
something, and I was using, was it blood? I don't remember. I remember that I was using some bodily fluid. Was it pee? Oh, I think it was pee. I think it was pee. I think it was pee, and I was like, and I started to laugh, and I was like, "Oh, Dean would be so mad. It would be so upset."
Yeah, again, like, I'm totally fine with all bodily fluids, and witchcraft is a very like personal kind of thing as well, and that's why those things are so powerful. It's the fucking with people's food that I have a problem with. It's not the manner of the spell; it's the end result is like, don't put maggots in my dinner. I would never eat again. I swear to God, I would never be able to eat again if that happened to me.
Oh, goodness.
Ever.
Yeah.
My friend once had not one, but 2 pomegranates explode with spiders. And I don't think she's ever eaten a pomegranate since. And like, I feel that on a personal fucking level.
Yeah,
I would never eat again if maggots were in my dinner.
Well, were it maggots or were it spiders?
No, there was spiders. It was spiders. She like was opening up a pomegranate to obviously to get the seeds out, and it just exploded with spiders. There was just spiders forever. And she was traumatized. And then that happened to her.
Technically, it's like an abundance of fertility, but
I respect the viewpoint. I do respect the viewpoint. I'm with you there. However, if my food explodes with insects, I am not going to be okay. I'm certainly not going to eat it, and I am not going to be all right about it.
I mean, I guess if the result is good at the end of it, no, I would be like, I wouldn't look at a pomegranate again either. That would just be like, nope, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I'd be like, nope, fine.
Nope.
That was a nice period of my life where I ate pomegranates. Never again.
Obviously, the show, like I said, it's got its hooks in me. I am a Samifer lover. I don't know if I can mention that here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. We are open. We are open to all ships.
So yeah, I love Samifer, and I know most people don't get it, don't love it. And so I definitely love that.
We have an interview coming out I think it's going to be like next month with someone who absolutely loves Lucifer. And like we had a great conversation about that. Yeah, but yeah, all ships, ship and let's ship, right? Whatever you're about. Yep.
I love that. I don't, and so like for me, like one of the, like I can't get into Wincest because like for me, Samifer goes before Wincest, so like I can't see like Wincest until until when would it happen? Because Lucifer's there. It's like it can't happen if Lucifer's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's like maybe like after Lucifer, because one true vessel and like fate. Yeah, so it's like maybe after he dies, like totally after that, like towards the end, but then like they'd have like 1-2 years and then Dean's dead. So
Yep.
yeah. So that's kind of the way I see it. And so that's like the hardest part for me there, because I have a lot of Wincest friends, and I love the community. And the server communities and so forth. I love that community the most, and I hang out with them the most. But then I'm like, no, I can't see it.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm trying, but I can't.
You just get, yeah. This is what you see and you feel, and like, nope, this is it. Like, this makes sense to me.
This is your one true pairing, and you're like, I respect the hustle over there, but this is it for me. Yeah. And I get that, and I'm like, I can see where you're coming from, because there was, well, no, I was going to say there could have been an argument that there was maybe 6 months of Sam's baby life when he could have, been supposed to be Dean's, but his whole birth was supposed to be, he was
the whole thing
from birth.
Even before, even the 10 years before, because of the deal.
Yeah. All right.
So it was like the 10 year, like the deal was done 10 years before he was born.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's completely faded. That's the whole thing. It's that whole, like, there's no, it's like that whole fight of free will versus fate,
Yeah, which is
one of the, it's a huge thing. But I really love, and that's one of the things that I love about the show. It's like I really like the whole parallel of like the brownie recipe, and it's like, you come to the life, and you're like a box of brownie, right? And it's like the recipe's there, you're going to make a brownie. And you can follow exactly like it's there on the box, or you can, switch out the oil for, or you can switch out the water for milk, or you can add chocolate chips, or you can add nuts, or you can, put some coconut flakes into it or whatever. But in the fucking end, you're going to end up with a brownie anyway.
It's still a brownie.
Still a brownie. Yeah. I love that though. I love that. That's such a great metaphor for it.
Yeah. And so it's kind of free will, but there's still, the fate is still there. You're still going to end up being a brownie.
I think that's a great metaphor for the show in general, though. I've said it before, like, we're all coming from the same source material, but everybody sees and gets something a little bit different out of it. So yeah, we're all making brownies. We're just doing
all making brownies. Yeah, but I'm putting coconut flakes in mine because I'm a tropical girl.
And I will try your brownies, and I will be very polite about it. And secretly, I will not tell you that I don't like coconut. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I'm polite.
And somebody else has nut allergens, so they're gonna be like, "Get those pecans away from me!"
Yeah, exactly. You got to be just like, it's okay to enjoy your brownies. You just got to be aware that not everyone else is going to enjoy your brownies, and that's totally fine. You just got to be chill about it. Ship and let ship. Supernatural is brownies. Probably don't call the episode that, Sandra. Sorry.
No, I didn't. I was thinking about it just for a second. I was like, at the end, it's still a brownie. I thought that might be fun. That might be fun to call it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you never know. And I know you mentioned too about like the whole, like the theme of like family, like you call it like the way family is an election, like, family doesn't end in blood.
Yeah. So that actually, okay. So going back to the whole thing. So the way I have a lot of trauma here. So the way I was raised, obviously we were about 30 people, and we were all probably like 9 source families or something like that. I'm not sure. But we were all like, everybody was siblings, right? And everybody was moms, and everybody was siblings. And, like at some point later on, when your head's kind of like a little bit more messed up, like, I was feeling guilty that I like loved one of my brothers more than another brother who technically was my blood brother, but not the other one, right?
Okay.
And my mom, one of my moms, she's like, well, blood predisposes, but it does not obligate. It just gives them a head start. But if they don't make the right decisions, then they don't earn that space. And so the found family is going to be a stronger bond than your blood family, because they've earned that space.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to feel guilty that your brother, one that's not blood but is a better brother, is your brother because he's earned that space and he is your brother. And so I think that the show does that as well. Obviously, Sam and Dean are their blood and they're found and their soul and their everything, and they prove it over and over to hell and back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in general, other found family is there as well, right, in the show, and you can see that people choose to take that step into that inner circle, right, and to become found family as well.
Yeah.
And so that blood does, and same as I know you guys' favorite, I don't know, I know Kasey's favorite, right, Mary. Blood doesn't predispose, right?
Yeah.
So, and I like Mary, and I know Kasey doesn't really love her, but it's that it doesn't predispose her, right? She came back. She's like, oh fuck no, this isn't my time.
Yeah.
These are my kids. This isn't, and she chose to take that step back because it wasn't obligating her. Same thing as other people might have taken, like Bobby takes that step forward. Blood wasn't making him take that step, but he was taking that step forward to be that found family.
That's such an interesting. I've always come at Mary from the neglected child, coming at Mary from a position of being very familiar with not feeling wanted and things like that. And I've actually never considered that from Mary's POV. So I'm gonna have to think about that. Because yeah. If the boys had rejected Mary, I would have gone, well, blood's not thicker than water. That's bullshit. Blah 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 blah. And I would have totally accepted it if they'd have gone, nah. But she went, nah, and I was like, you're a terrible mother. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh no, I'm not gonna have to do work on myself. Oh, I'm gonna have to think about things. Damn it.
Yeah.
She hurt the boys though for that one little bit, so I'm still a little upset with her. I'll always be a little upset with her, making them hurt more.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it was. I
understand
for her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I understand it, but still, I'm just one of those people. Man, if you hurt Dean, you're in trouble. It's like, man, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot. But no, the whole found family, I think, like you said, it's so much stronger because you're choosing those people. Those people are choosing you, and like no matter what, when they come back again and again to help you, to be a part of your life, because there's, like you said, there's no obligation to it. They just do it because they want to, not because they have to. I think that's very important.
Powerful.
Yeah, makes it very special.
It's a commitment that you're making based purely on love, and the responsibility that you put forth is based on your own ethical principles and your own desire.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to come with the guilt that a lot of family stuff comes with, well, it's because you have to. It's because he's your dad. I'm like, no, it isn't. It doesn't have to be that way. So yeah, there's a lot of those things. I know I feel in my life that I've kind of built like maybe a handful of people that I feel truly are family, and some of them are blood, but some of them aren't. It's just like, and those feel like true family to me, because you feel like no matter what, there's somebody there that's going to be there for you just because, not because there isn't anything transactionally or anything like that. It's just they're there for you if you need them. Yeah. Kasey's one of those people.
Right.
Aww, thank you.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that blood family is there usually if you believe in soul contracts and so forth, it's usually there because either because they do have that head start, right? Because they were already placed in your life from the beginning. And if you believe in soul contracts, it's there because they have that head start because they wanted to be there to guide you or to be in your life already, or because you have shit to work out from past lives. So.
Oh man,
that
those past lives.
Yeah, that answered a lot of shit. I was like, oh great, it was you had shit to work out with your past life, and I was the vessel for that. I was like, fucking sweet. Yeah.
Oh goodness. We could probably keep doing show stuff forever, but I know we're gonna try. But can you give me some of like your favorite characters from the show? Just like
Sam, Lucifer.
uh,
Of course. I like most of the demons because I really believe that they have, for example, like that work ethic. This dude's been working for decades to get Lucifer for free. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the work ethic. Come on.
My lazy ass could never. The
work ethic.
The work ethic of Ruby. Oh, I couldn't be me, fam.
The only thing is that she gloated too fast. If she hadn't gloated, she wouldn't have not have got it.
Yeah.
But
just had to hold that in a little bit longer.
Just like 3 more minutes, girl. Come on. You were doing so good.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like, her and Sam worked it out in the afterlife. Jared said so it's okay.
No, I mean, and she got I know what she did last summer. She got her bonus. Her work bonus.
That's what Jared put on his Instagram for Sam's birthday though. They went out for a meal and that was his caption. Turns out him and Ruby worked it out in the afterlife.
Yeah, no,
that was real cute.
Yeah. So definitely most of those demons because of that. I love Kevin because I'm a translator by trade. That's what I studied in college. And so, you know, and you guys, you know, saw. I definitely have a sweet spot for him. And yes, poor little kid.
hopefully you don't like fuel your translation efforts with like a fucking Costco-sized bottle of like pain medication and like I don't even know what the fast food was and copious amounts of caffeine.
2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's fine. We already established caffeine is like that's a cultural thing for you. It's like you have to for your heritage, and that's fine. That's
2
fine.
out of 3. Okay. Yeah. And so so Kevin's a doll. So Kevin, I really like Kevin. Rowena, of course. The only thing, because she's a witch, I'm a witch. I love her. I even have a wig in like her hair and stuff like that. You know, so I love her. She's beautiful. So yeah, and Crowley, because I mean, who would not love to talk like Crowley? And of course, I'm Crowley's mistress. You know, so hello.
I was gonna say if you don't mention Crowley,
so, Crowley's mistress. I did, and we'll talk about the cons. But I did meet and greet with Mark Sheppard. He's a doll.
Nice. He's a lovely human being.
He is a doll. And yeah,
so we talked a little bit about like the fandom part of it. When did your love of the writing start? Like when did you start writing?
Start writing in general or first or
just
for
in general? In general.
So I think I've been writing, like my first memory of writing was probably like 3rd grade, in which I got a prize for a short story. So I've probably been writing before that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've probably been writing forever. I do remember that they would make me write like stuff like, you know, like special at home. They would make me write like, oh, you write pretty, so you write this or whatever. So I know I've been writing for a long time. In middle school, I would write for schoolmates. Like they would come and they would tell me their middle school drama, and then I would write like a poem or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then to them they would like give it to their friends or whatever, and they were having middle school drama, like, you know, about their fights or shit. And so I was writing since I was younger. In college, I participated in a writing group and so forth. And then I studied translation. Then I did, and then later on, after I've been working for a while and had established myself, I went back to college as an adult, and I did a master's degree in creative writing.
Okay.
So
cool.
I've been writing for a while. I mean, I've always liked writing, I guess, but obviously this was all in Spanish, which is my native language. And then for the fanfic, so I never knew about fanfic, obviously because I didn't know about media.
Right. Right.
And so my partner, so I wrote something quick, like a little drabble, like in February of 24.
Mm-hmm.
And you read it, Kasey. It's the one like in the bathroom. Like
Yes.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
So I wrote that travel in like February, maybe February or March of 24.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I showed it to them. And they're like, that's not a story. That doesn't make any sense. Then nobody that's outside of like supernatural will ever understand it. Blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then so very deflating in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the creative writing master's degree, like we would, it's very much a clique, and it's very much like everybody goes to everybody's like openings and books and like whatever, and like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you go hang out and whatever. Oh, you wrote this short story. Oh, that's there's a reading tonight, blah blah blah. But they're all like full short stories or full like, oh, so and so is gonna have their novel out, and
Mhm.
like stuff. And so this was a drabble, right? I think it was like 500 words or something like that. And they're like, that makes no sense, and nobody's gonna understand it. And like I said, nobody knows this character and whatever. You have to like sit down and create the whole world, and you have to explain everything and so forth. I was like, shit, but there's got to be people that know about supernatural and who I wouldn't have to explain what I'm talking about, and they would get this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started like looking for this community and looking for like, who could I just like pop this into their feeds or whatever. I didn't know that was what I was looking for at the time, but that's what I was basically looking for.
Right.
That I could just present this to them and they'd be like, oh, cool. This makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I started looking for. And I found, that's when I found it's not fan fiction, the other one. The one my daughter's on.
Wattpad?
The one that's like more kiddie. Yes, Wattpad.
Okay.
The one that's more kiddie. Yeah. See,
Okay.
Sandra got it. So I was like, oh, Wattpad. Okay. So I found Wattpad and I found fan fiction. I did not find AO3 yet.
Okay.
And then I found Tumblr, but Tumblr was like too social media for me. And I was like, oh, I don't know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like scary, like at least for me to open it up. And so, but I found Tumblr, like I found, like I could read it, but I couldn't open, I hadn't opened like an account, and so I was like, okay. So I started exploring, reading and looking, and I was like, oh, there's fan fiction,
Mm-hmm.
So that's like where I started looking. And then I think in March I found AO3. And then I requested an invite. It took like a month and a half to get it in. And I opened my AO3 in April. Okay. And then in April of 24. And that's when I opened it and I started posting stories. I did not post this first story that I had traveled about until, I don't know, a couple months later. Mm-hmm. But the first story I published was, it was more of a story. It was Push, and it was Lucifer makes Sam give him a blowjob in front of Dean. And so, but it was more of a story. It was more built up. It wasn't a drabble. Mm-hmm. And so, and that's like the first story I published, and it was like May of 2024. And so that was like my first story and so forth. And it's just like, there you go. Mm-hmm. And AO3 was the first, because I went on fanfic and I opened an account, but I saw that it was very, like, they didn't accept, like, it's more like non-explicit and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I know my writing's not going to be.
Where my smart people at? I need my smart people. Yeah.
I knew that my writing was not going to be like, I'm not going to be able to post half the shit I'm going to write. So it was just like, it's not even worth opening it up. And so I was just like, I'd be out there. And then so I was just like, I'll just wait for AO3, because they were like, oh no, there's 70,000 people before you. It'll take 6 weeks or whatever. And I'll just wait. Yeah. And so that's how I started. And then it's been a year, right? More than a year now. And since then I have live journal, Tumblr, Discord.
Look at you go.
I've got all these things, and I was like, okay, now I'm just like a fanfic whore.
No, you found your spaces. That's what it is. You found the spaces with the people that get it. Yes, that's what it is.
I think it's a lot like the found family. Yeah, like the found family part of it, right? Like you're searching out, you're finding people that want to, just communicate and discuss and love something similar, and it just makes it easy to just keep going with it, open up all these like different accounts and like find all these different things to discuss and explore. I think that's great. Supernatural sounds like it's definitely had this domino effect for you, which it does for a lot of people. I think once you get into it, once you get into like the fanfic part of it, it's like all these things just kind of like they match and they meet up and they make perfect sense. That's great. So we already know what you sort of lean towards, but I love that you gave us like a percentage, like of pairings and ships that you lean toward writing. So you got a Samifer at the top, percentage-wise, and then you broke it down a little bit for us. So what's the breakdown look like for you in terms of like pairings and shippings that you like to write?
Okay, so I have 60% of my writing is Samifer, which does make it, because I know it does make my engagement lower because a lot of people have Samifer actually blocked. So I not a lot of people. Yeah. I did not know that before, but there's people that actually block tags. A lot of people actually have Samifer blocked.
Okay.
And then I have 15% of my 17 actually, but I rounded it down. 15% is Sam with somebody else. I do Sam with, and it's usually like I do Sam with Amelia, Sam with Cara Roberts, and I'll talk about her. I love her, and I'll talk about her in a minute. Sam with Rowena.
Okay. Sam
Woo,
Weena.
look at that Sam Weena shipper. They were getting it on behind them bookshelves. 100%.
Of course they were. Oh, that little smile when he does that little smile when they're sitting down. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Cara Roberts. Oh my gosh. Sex and Violence. You remember that episode?
Season 4. Yep.
The siren.
Oh, the doctor.
The siren. Yeah.
The doctor. Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I was just about
everybody's
to Google
always,
that.
oh, sex and violence. No, everybody's, oh, sex and violence, the siren. And I'm like, fuck the siren. He fucked the doctor.
Did you see the doctor? It was
Did you
really
see
good.
the
It was
doctor?
really good fucking as well, though. It was really like.
I'm like, people. The first part of the episode. Come on.
Yeah.
See, but I think season 4 was a really good season for Sam in that regard. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think. I think I know what you did last summer is probably like that's peak Sam fucking, like 100%. Like you don't get Sam fucking better than that. And then I think Hart is next because he's a little bit like grr in that as well. But Cara, the doctor, that's fucking up there. That is good. That is some good Sam fucking right there.
That is good. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
But
everyone's blinded by the Wincest implications of sex and violence, or desperately trying to deny the Wincest applications. Of sex and
they're
violence.
fighting about, and I'm like, that's a Dean problem, not a Sam problem. Sam has other problems.
This is a Dean issue. Y'all deal with that with your
the one
Dean
facing
issues.
the siren. That is a Dean issue. Dean is the one that has to face the siren, and the siren is a male, and blah blah blah. That is a Dean problem. Sam has a problem. He is fucking the doctor, and
he's having a nice
and if he
time.
had any problems, he's having a good time. And if he had any problems, it would be Ruby because he's drinking demon blood. He is. He does not have any problems. He's having a good time with the doctor.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, no, yes, no. I love Cara because, and one of the things, remember I talked about like body autonomy and so forth. One of the things that I like propose or that I mentioned when I'm talking about Sam is that when you look at his encounters, he is usually influenced, right? Like he is usually either by grief or demon blood with Ruby, or in general, like sexual assault with Tony, or or he's soulless with like Sparrow, or season 6 in general with a bunch of people. The only people that like I've seen in the whole show that he's not influenced by anything is Cara and Piper. Cara is this doctor, and Piper is the one in Baby.
The waitress, yeah. You wouldn't say Madison from Heart, though? I mean, I know she dumps her underwear out on the table, but that's like extreme flirting, I think, more than anything. She's just like, look, we could just, you're making this weird. We could just be fucking, though.
We could be fucking, right? I don't know. I think for me, those first few episodes, he's still like really under the influence of grief from Jess.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the way that I see it, that those first few episodes, he's still really under the influence of grief. She is like the first person that he...
Yeah,
and
no,
so,
I can see where you're at. Yeah, Cara and Piper.
Yeah.
I'm in for it. I'm in for it.
And so for Cara, like people would be like, oh, but he's drinking demon blood. But that binds him to Ruby. It doesn't bind him to, like, yes, he'll have more prowess and he'll be more aggressive, but it doesn't make him influenced to humans, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. And they were just having a nice time in her office. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Gold star Sam handling.
Yeah. And then after that, he's completely fucked, because after that is the whole arc where, you know, he frees Lucifer, and then he gets, you know, he gets completely screwed. He goes to the cage. And then after that, he's soulless. And then, you know, he gets it out. And then it's a whole mess for 7 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's like the last time he has fun.
Oh, don't say it like that. Now I'm sad.
Sorry. But for me, this is important because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. I just I prefer to be ignorant, please. That's my son. My poor baby.
And
someone
you know,
can get him.
And he had fun. She had fun. It wasn't like one of the two had fun and the other one didn't, because you know that sometimes happens. They both had fun, and so yeah. So I like her because of that.
I'm into it.
Yeah. And I totally love, like, when people are into like a small ship that nobody else sees. I'm like for it. I am totally, like, I saw this girl on TikTok that she ships. I think it's one of the special kids, the one with the van with
Andy.
Andy. She ships Sam with Andy, and I'm like, they're together for like 4 minutes or whatever, and I'm like,
it was very cute when they were in the ghost town by the that was a cute little bonding session.
She has like 3 TikToks on it, because I mean that's what they're together, like 3 minutes. So she made a video out of each one of the minutes, and it's like, oh, it's so cute. She's totally into it. So and then there's another girl that does like I think she made TikTok out of the guy in Providence, is it in the Whore of Babylon, the bartender. Yeah, totally into it. Yeah, I am totally into like super small ships that nobody else sees. Well, okay, this is fine. Okay, Crowleysmistress is the one that's like, okay, Sam with Cara. That's it.
Oh no, I love that. So, I love that.
I love it when people can see something. Like, I have a story, Sandra, you love being Dean. I have a story that I haven't finished, but I will someday. Okay. It's Dean with the lady from the museum when they're stealing the
oh my gosh, when he's in that suit, when he's in that blue suit, and they steal and she's just hitting on him hard, and he's like, what?
She's hitting on him hard. So he calls her afterwards. And she's like super mistress and super like domineering with him. I have that story. I haven't finished it yet, but it is.
What episode is this from?
Like
it's Blade Runners. It's Blade Runners. It's the one where he gets, at the end of it, he's in the Men of Letters. He gets the first blade, but there's a lot of stuff going on in that episode. But the blue suit, the really dark blue suit that I'm like, my God, he's never looked hotter in that fucking suit in his entire life.
When you say blue suit, the only suit I think of is, I think of Jensen in a reasonable blue suit.
I mean, I
think of him in that Czech fucking monstrosity.
No.
I looked up her name and everything.
I'll find it for you at some point. I'll send you a picture, because it's peak. And it's such a like, that scene's just such a little bit off, but it's a little off too. It's like and it's just like, it seems like, what the fuck is going on?
and she's like Sam, shut up, and then like,
it doesn't make any sense. It's a very like non sequitur scene, but then it gives you those like I wonder kind of a situation that then you can go and write a story about. Yes. Mm-hmm. I will read that story if it ever gets published. You can trust me to be the first in line for that, because I'm just like, yes, please. What happens there? I would love to know. I'd love to know that. That sounds great.
Yeah, he used Agent Ellis, and let's see. Oh, she makes him call ma'am. Yeah, I'm opening it up.
Sandra's like, I require this immediately, please. You must finish this. I need it.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Before we move on, Sandra, I just wanted to ask, because like I'll be straight with you. I don't tend to read a lot of Sam Lucifer stuff, just because it kind of like I find it triggers me like in not great ways. So like what is it about that dynamic? Do you have like Lucifer, like is it asshole Lucifer? Is it like caring, you were always meant to be mine, we were soulmates kind of Lucifer? Like what is it about that dynamic that you find yourself drawn to explore?
I go more with possessive Lucifer, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And it is that aspect of the whole fated dynamic kind of thing. And I don't ignore, because there are other Samifer writers that go with like ignore that there's, been sexual assault or violence or stuff like that. I don't ignore that. And I do believe that Lucifer is a narcissist. There's no fucking way around that. I'm not glossing over that. But I think that the dynamic that I work with is basically that pull that you feel when you're working in a relationship that you know that is ill-gotten for you, and that you have to work through it to basically resist the things that you're trying to improve on yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I believe that there's always this pull between what you have been raised to believe and what you end up doing, right? And so at the end, you kind of like reject it or embrace it.
Yeah.
And Lucifer is that for Sam, right? Is he going to embrace that, or is he going to reject it? And that there's a huge tug of war inside of him with that. Because Lucifer represents power, and it represents destiny, and it represents fate. This is what he was born to be or to do. And if he embraced it, he would be more powerful. He would be fulfilling his destiny. Versus if he rejects it, he would be loyal to himself, but then he would be less. And then but then he would be true to himself. And so that's the whole dynamic.
No,
and
I can see that. Yeah.
That's fucked up, right? Plus, at the same time, Lucifer does do for him things that others don't, right? Because Lucifer is more respectful of him and of his choices than Dean is. Gotta
get Kasey on season 5. Go, Kasey. Season 5.
I would have burned it all down. I would have burned the whole fucking thing down. 100%. Yeah. And I'm actually thinking about it now, and Lucifer says to Sam, like, I'll never lie to you. And stuff like that. He does ruin his dinner, though, in season 7. And I'm not all right with that.
Or back to the maggots.
Back to the maggots, yeah. I'm not, just don't fuck with people's food. Just don't, like, I don't want insects in my dinner.
He does have his narcissistic tendencies, which he cannot control, right? Because he plays that game and he gets impatient. It's the same thing that happens when he's with Jack, right? He can't control himself when he doesn't get fast results. And that happens with a narcissistic person. It's like, I'm playing this game and I wanted to have these results and I'm going to come off really charming and nice. But when I can't get my results quickly, I flare up. And so we see that game and we see those results and we see that, coming up and playing. So, but he pulls the wool over his eyes many times.
Well, you will absolutely see me in your kudos, because certainly you pulled me in with Push. I'm like, blowjobs in front of Dean. Fuck yes. Yes.
And I think that the one where you ask about like my favorite fanfic, I think where I laid it out the most, like my defense of Samifer or whatever you want to call it, was in Ganymede. And it's like, it's a story where I basically Lucifer Sam has to save Dean, and he uses Lucifer to do that. And Lucifer, what he asks for in exchange is like a public dating relationship, right? And due to their past, Sam can't do that easily, so he love potions himself
Okay.
to be able to do it.
Mm.
And to be able to be doing it, nice and happy. That way he can, deal with the whole trauma of the past, because if not, he wouldn't be able to do it.
But he's dealing with the whole trauma by not dealing with the whole trauma, right? Like with the
Of
whole
course.
That's a
That's a
Winchester, that's a Winchester
I
staple.
know, absolutely.
That's how we
That's
deal
the
with
whole
trauma.
thing.
We just
Of
don't
course.
deal with it.
We're not going to deal with it.
That's how we deal with it. We don't. That's
Yeah.
how we deal with it. We don't. Hey,
Hashtag the Winchester method.
Yeah, it's very in canon.
Yes, very much so. Goodness.
Right.
And obviously there's a term, right? There's contracts and there's a term. This is only for 2 weeks. And so he's like, yeah, I can deal with this. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it goes sideways because one does it not.
Yeah.
There's an exploration of why do I feel this way? Why do I feel that this is fucked up? And there's also an exploration of, from Lucifer's part, of why do I want this as well?
So do you feel they feel they balance each other out somehow in a way? Like in this whole Samifer thing?
Yeah, because if Sam is not the only potential vessel,
Yeah.
I mean, he has Nick, Vicente, he has a bunch of other people that he could, Vicente was a gift for Sam, right? He only got him because Sam liked that music and he liked that singer. If not, he wouldn't have even possessed him, He does try to please Sam and he does not try to possess him. He's like, okay, I won't, he wants to have him as somebody that he's with and not somebody that he's in.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You might have listened to, because it reminds me too of like Monica Woe that we interviewed, where she's very big on like the whole boy king aspect of Sam, and like she really likes to dig into into that part of it, like and what that would mean for him, like truly fulfilling that,
his
right?
destiny.
Yeah, it's
Right.
some really interesting stuff. Do you feel that there's like I don't even know if this makes sense. Is there a happy ending for them? Like in together, or is it always going to be this tug and this push and pull dynamic with them?
No, I don't think that they could. I don't think that they could have a happy ending.
Yeah.
Not especially not after the cage.
Yeah.
And especially not Lucifer being a narcissist. I mean,
yeah. That's just that's
I don't know. I don't know what
that doesn't work. I think in the long term.
I don't know what the studies say that if a narcissist can go into recovery or not. But I mean, just looking at that profile, there's there's no way. Yeah.
So I think it sounds like really it's more about Sam's journey and figuring himself out too. Like that's a big part of it.
It's a big part of it's a part of Sam just determining what he wants to embrace, what's the most important part for him, which is what we all decided at some point.
Do you write it in a certain POV, a lot of your Samifers, or is it more like third person? Do you get into Sam's?
Yeah, third person, present tense. Yeah.
Okay. I did want to like touch base a little bit on like your bangs, because I know you'd be like, because you did get into everything with the writing and the fanfic and like you said, the community aspect of it. You've been involved in a lot of big bangs and such. Would you want to talk a little bit about that, like what you've been working on, who you've been collabing with?
What we're gonna have to do though is we're gonna have to have you come back for all the con shit.
We might.
I realize that's really inconvenient, and I'm so sorry that you're gonna have to give us more of your time and spend more time with me, an absolute prolific Sam lover. I know. I realize.
Terrible. Does it count for 2 votes?
No, I'm sorry. It doesn't.
You're gonna have to adjust that. And it's gotta become 2 votes.
We're closing the gap, and I've got to be happy that we're closing the gap. But yes, big bangs.
Yeah, big bangs.
Me and you were together in the Samhain Sheppard.
Yeah.
Yes, I published on the 12th. Did I publish? I published like a week ago or something like that. It was beautiful, and I used a little bit of my background because it was Sam growing up in a cult that taught him how to adore Lucifer so that he would say yes when he grew up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Lightbringers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That was the one. Yeah, it was beautiful. I used my art there was by Pumchi, they did a fabulous art, and it was, and more than anything, I think I've just loved collabing with Pumchi. They just get so involved in the work that I'm doing. We're actually working
Beautiful.
together on speed dating as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you looking at it? The art? Yeah.
I'm looking. Yeah,
Um,
no, I'd seen the art with Sam and the snake, and I was just
Yeah.
like, oh god, that's so beautiful. Your
Mm.
fic is on my list
Yeah.
along with all of the other fucking fics from the buying to
That
read.
fic is
There are
very.
so
That
many.
fic is so. That fic is so. I think it's teen. It's very soft. It's very
Okay.
soft. Very different than most of the stuff that I normally do, which is explicit. And Bunchi,
Sometimes the sex just doesn't fit.
well, no, I mean he's a teen in that one. Like it's him growing up, and
Yeah.
so, but it's very. I like the way that it's done because you can see like the way that they're grooming him in like mentally,
Mm.
So it's really cool. But if you look like at the art, they also did the art for somebody else for Salt, for Minibang. I'll look it up.
Okay.
For Nip, and that fic was a super explicit, and then the art is like super explicit, and you're like, this is the same artist.
The talent in this fandom is real, y'all.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. Very amazing.
And so so I'm in 17 bangs this year.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Wow. Do you sleep? I mean,
Yeah.
no, you drink so much coffee. Maybe not.
I sleep from 1 to 6. So yeah.
Like, is there a certain time you find to write during the day, or do you just make time?
So yeah, I write my best times. So I try to. My best times are usually that 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. are my best times. Like before the kids go to school.
Okay.
Those are the best times for me to write. Like I'm actually more alert and better and so forth. I try to write at the end of the day, but it's weak. Yeah, I just I read it and I'm like, it's weak.
Yeah.
I should give up on it because I know it sucks, but I still sit down and try. But I really should give up on it.
Even if it's not exactly what you want, like you're still getting the ideas down, and they can then
you can polish it the next morning when you're fresh. You're ready to look at it.
You're awake.
Yeah.
You can think of it like drunk you is just scrolling ideas down, and then in the morning,
I've never been
comes along and is
drunk.
like, "Thanks." Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Past you then. Past you is scrolling down ideas.
One of the things about the way that I grew up, like I was raised vegan and stuff, and so my my liver never developed the enzymes to process alcohol.
Oh wow,
So,
really?
yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. Wow.
There you go. So I'm very, very structured in the way. So when I get a fic, like I have, I put down the dates and like the dates that I'm and I don't allow myself to deviate. And so I'm working on this fic, and then this fic is the one I'm working on. Even if I'm like inspired to work on the fic that's in November, I'm like, nope, I'm working on this one.
So
I'm working on this one.
You don't bounce around. You focus.
I don't bounce around.
Okay.
Even if I hate it right then, even if it's not the one I want to work on, I'm like, and then when I sign up for it, I write it like a big summary, or like I do the brainstorming, I write the summary, and I write out like the summary and the chapters or episodes or the main points of what's going to happen.
Right.
And so when I sit down to write, I write it, I basically write the story based on those points, those bullet points.
Okay.
And so I just sit down and I write the scenes based on what I wrote out that was going to happen. And so I don't bounce out, like I just write it exactly like that. So it's just
so do you not deviate at all? Like if you do come up with a different idea and then no?
Nope.
Okay.
Sometimes the most that happens is that I have to cut scenes because I usually have a more robust outline than my deadlines will allow.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, this has to go. I'm not going to get around to it. And then I have to cut shit out. And then I'm like, okay, so bye, you're gone. And then
teach me your fucking ways. For real. I love writing Sam. I love writing his POV. I learned during my Big Bang fic though that he really does need a second character because it's pretty dark in his head if you leave him alone for long enough.
Yeah, I
But
read
he
yours.
just fucks off on me. I'll be writing and I'm like, I've got an idea and I've got a plot and I know what's fucking happening. And then he's like, lol, no, and just leaves. And I'm there going, Sam, please, no, come back. Let's talk about this. How do you want this to go? Get in the fucking seat. How do you just manhandle him into line? Oh, teach me your fucking
Dean
ways.
does that more for me.
Yeah,
Dean is
true.
more rebellious for me than Sam. Dean does that more, and so
but
yeah.
you know, I've had
And then I
plenty
have
of
to
times
slap
of
him
Sam
into
just
obedience.
fucking off. I had an excellent ending for Junkies planned out. It was all great. I had bullet points and everything, and between the pair of them, they just ripped it up and threw it away. And I was like, guys, please, like, there was a fucking plan. We had like bullet points and shit. What is happening right now? And then Sam fucked off, and then Dean fucked off, and now I'm looking at Junkies going, I don't know how to fix this. Fuck.
I haven't read Junkies yet. It sounds interesting.
I'm curious then, do you already have like some like story ideas in mind before you sign up for something, or do you sign up first and then be like, okay, now I'm going to come up with a story idea? How does that work? Like, do you what comes first?
I sign up and then I come up with the story. I sign up and then I get the story.
Okay.
So one of the things that I really like is the collaboration, and so my first bang was last year. My first bang was last November. The rare ships bang, which was the one where I wrote Ganmute, and it was the first time I did a bang, and I just loved. I loved the deadlines. I loved I loved it. I loved having art. I loved having a beta. I loved having, everything that's like the structure, and like I just love that. And so the check-ins, I loved it. Right? I love like the stress. I loved it. And so
dive under pressure.
Me, that was just like, yes, I do. That was perfect. So this year, and last year I wrote, like I started, like I said, late April, early May, and I wrote about 110,000 words or something like that. So then this year, for the beginning of the year, I said, okay, so I'm going to write double that. I want to write 200,000 words at least this year. And then I was like, okay, I also liked the bang. So I'm going to sign up for a couple bangs. And between those two, between the bangs and whatever, I should get the 200K. Wow. But then the super bangs, they just kept popping up. And then, like, there's so many bangs. Yeah. And I just kept, it's so easy to sign up for them. This is a little Google form. Crowleysmistress.
There should be more of a more rigorous sign up. It's far too easy to just sign up for all these bangs.
Way too easy to sign up. They should, I don't know, ask you for your first child or something. I don't know. And so suddenly I'm like, damn, like I am, and then I got in a reverse bang.
Okay.
That shit's nice.
Now, is that because that does sort of like help you come up with the idea, like just seeing like okay. No? Okay.
So I thought it was a surprise at the beginning, because I was like, oh fuck, I thought, the art's going to be there and I'm going to do whatever I want. No.
Okay.
That's not the way it goes. Have you guys done
No.
You guys haven't done a reverse bang?
No.
That was my understanding of it. That the art was there and you claimed the art, and then you were like, here is the story I'm going to make for that art. Is that not how it goes?
No. The art is there, and then there's a page next to it that tells everything the artist wants. Okay?
Oh.
And they're like, no Wincest, or no Castiel, or I was thinking that this could be so-and-so off in the cabins doing shit, whatever, while they were jerked off to a mountain of money, whatever. Okay. And so you're like, what? Oh, I did not know this came with like instructions.
Yeah, I didn't know it came with instructions. Nobody told me.
Exactly. Because I was like, when I was looking at the pictures, at the art, I was like, oh, pretty pictures. I like this one. I like this one. No, shit, no. It comes with like expectations.
Okay.
Wow. And I was like, okay, this is not what I was expecting.
Well, I mean, I'm mostly sworn off bangs, and the only thing that could bring me back to a bang now, because turns out I find them really fucking stressful. I thought the Wincest one was just like an outlier, but then I did the Samhain one, and I was like, oh no, I actually hate deadlines. Oh no. But the only thing that could tempt me in now is a reverse bang. So that's good information to have. Thank you, because I know Mass is planning to looking at doing another Samhain Japad reverse. So you know, I might have had my eye on
that. So the reverse. So I picked up 2 reverse at the beginning of the year, and then they were super different, right? One of my artists was, my art is there to inspire you. Let the muse take you wherever you want.
Okay.
I was like,
so sometimes it's like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
And then they didn't go, and they didn't say anything, and I was like totally stressed because I was like, they hate my story. Because they didn't say anything, right? And then the other artist was like on top of me, like whipping me, like, let me see the next paragraph. Let me see this.
Oh, wow.
I wanted more.
Okay.
They were
that sounds really stressful. I'm stressed for you. That sounds so stressful.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, they loved it. They loved it, right? But it was very collaborative. And I was like, yes, I love collaboration. And then the admin, I would say something light, like, yes, my artist is very asking, very on top of me. And they're like, oh, yes, a cheerleader. That's great. Like, I don't know. Cheerleader, okay. Like, yes, we're looking at it half full, not half empty.
Because then they also will sometimes, like, won't they draw something else in addition to whatever then you write? Is that
because that's just the first one. The first one. They only draw what they gave you was the banner. Right. But then you write, and then after you write, they give you the art. So they give you the banner, and then they give you the art. Yes. Right. The first one was just the banner, and then you write something, and then they give you the art, like, that goes inside. Yes. So and then normally they give you, I love page breaks. So I always go like, hey, can you give me a page break? And they give me a page break too. So
these 2, the reverse ones, are still yet to come out. They're coming out, looks like.
No, they've already come. Those came out already.
Oh, okay. So there's more reverse bangs that you're a part of now, is what I'm seeing.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So those were,
I'm caught up now.
So I've already worked with Atlas Aspa last year.
Okay.
I worked with Punchi on the Sam one. I worked with Midnight Silver and D Ranger on the Eldritch ones, which were reverse. I worked with Blind Swan Dive on the Spring Fling.
Okay.
Those were the ones that have come out already.
Okay, gotcha.
There's 5 artists. So I've already had 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I've already worked with 5 artists that have already come out and have already been posted and are on my AO3. And then I'm working with Sam Winchester on the Samwina story for the fantasy bag, which we'll publish on July 13th.
Okay.
I'm working with Signed and Fell on my first STL. It publishes next month on June 3rd.
Okay.
I'm working with Step Cliff Gray on my reverse Wincest bang, which is my first Wincest. Okay. And that's a reverse.
Okay.
And that one is publishing on July 1st. I'm working with Mello and with Punchi on Speed Dating, which posts in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I've got claims coming up all in summer for Hoyser, Benny, Eldritch, the SPN Alternate Universe, and Dead Steel. And those, I don't know who the artists are yet because claims haven't come.
My goodness.
Where do you find the fucking time?
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. The only one that I'm thinking of dropping in, I've already talked to the admin, is Hoyser, the Hoyser Natural one. And I have that one's supposed to post on June 30th. I have the story. I've already started working on it. So I have to drop, if I decide to drop, the claims are on July 2nd. So it doesn't post on June 30th. I have to have the story like ready or enough, like enough of it ready by June 30th, because obviously the artists claim on July 2nd, because my story might have some underage, and they don't allow underage. So it just depends. I haven't got into that scene yet, but it's in my bullet points. And so I just have to check. And so I told them, they said, as long as you drop before the claims, before July 2nd, then fine.
Yeah.
So that's
so
that's
fair
I'm just,
enough, though.
yeah. So it's not, and the story would still be written because I'm already working on it, so I'd still post it and write on it.
Yeah. I love what you wrote about the humanity of the collaborations. Could you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that was just so great.
Yeah. So like for me, it's all about and that's obviously, like I said, I love deadlines. Everything Kasey does not like, I love. Different personalities, right? But for me, it's definitely, we're from different parts of the world. We're different people. We're, and everybody's fighting very human battles, right? And just out of the artists that I've already published with this year, one of them was having constant migraines, right? And one of them lives in Ukraine, and it's a country that's in active war. And they were like, okay, I'm sorry I'm delayed, but I had to be in the bathroom all night because they were bombing, One of them was I don't know, I think it was 12 hours difference from me because they're in the Netherlands. And, it was just different things. And one of them was all I have to make art is my tablet, and it's just, we're so different and we're all doing different. One of them was going to go to a con, and they were, really nervous because they were creating a cosplay, and they were putting on all night. They were doing, creating their cosplay with putting wings on their cosplay. And then they got super nervous and they weren't going to go, and they were freaking out. They weren't going to go at all. Somebody convinced them to go. They actually won, the cosplay contest. Yeah. And so it's just we're all in this fandom. It's because it calls to us because of one thing, and we're united because of the fandom. And we wouldn't, there's no way that I would be talking to somebody in London or somebody in Ukraine or somebody in Denmark or somebody in Australia if it weren't because of this, or they would be talking to somebody in Puerto Rico, if it weren't because of this, and I wouldn't be learning about somebody that has a certain disability, or somebody that's transitioning, or somebody that is going through an active war, if it weren't because of this fandom. And so I think that it makes us open up our minds and see things from a different perspective.
For a show called Supernatural, it's so based in the humanity of everyone that it's just so, it grounds people, I think, in a way, just brings it back down to just here. This is what we're all in it together, kind of a thing. We'll figure it out. That's what we do. It's those little mottos that I think keep people going too, in the face of just really shitty stuff, terrible things that are going on in the world. Yeah. Oh, that's, when I read that, I just thought that was really, that just that got to me. So I appreciate you sharing that part of the collaborating and what that means for you, and just everybody in the fandom too. Yeah, but Kasey, you've got your usual when we're talking about fanfic and authors and stuff, questions.
I do have my usual questions. So I think we've probably covered it. But is there anything sort of specific behind your username? What made you pick Crowley instead of Lucifer, for example? Where did you come up with your username?
So I had an ex who used to call me Lola, and I'm Crowley's girlfriend or mistress or whatever when he's down in down in the dumps or whatever. Her name was Lola.
Yeah.
The one that used to bring him pizza.
Yeah.
That might have been the same episode as the suit that Dean wears. That might be the same episode. I think it is.
That episode, right?
That's got some key things going on in it. Yeah.
You're going to have to send me a picture of this magical suit, Sandra.
So and then besides, Crowley's super sexy.
Great. Yeah.
Crowley's babe.
Yeah.
We love Crowley. I love Crowley. I love Mark. Sheppard, he's beautiful. So yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, his tattoos.
He does. He's a champion as well. I met him unofficially at a con last year. Which I've told the story, but Sandra was horrified because he was coming. I assume he was coming back from the bathroom. But he was just walking across the convention floor, and he was just I looked up. I was juggling things in my hand, and I looked up, and I was like, "Fucking hell, that's Mark Sheppard!" So I kind of rearranged my shit, and I was like, "Hey, Mark, nice to meet you." Put my hand out. He shook my hand. He was like, "Have a good day, darling." And Sandra was like, he didn't have anyone with him.
Oh, that's why I was horrified. Yeah, I was like, he's just by himself. I'm like, he needs protection. What's going on?
No, he was outside smoking with people. He was, talking to people. He was super nice. Yeah. No, I did the meet and greet with him, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the cons. But what I really appreciated I think he was probably the best meet and greet of the 3 that I did. And what I appreciated is that he knew every single person's town of the meet and greet.
Really?
Every single. I mean, I'm from buttfuck wherever, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've been there to the Chinese restaurant called Guangguodao," and it's like, "What?" And the person's like, "Yeah, I know that town. I know that restaurant. My friend's cousin is the owner." And he was like, "Yep," and I am not shitting you. In Puerto Rico, he's like, "No," I was like, in Puerto Rico, he's like, "Yes, I ate pork and beans at such and such restaurant." And I was like, "You did not." And he's like, "Yep, so and so, the security guard. He took me out of the hotel and he told me, 'Do not eat here. This is food is crap here, and you have to take me.'" And he took me out by the back entrance, and we went to such and such restaurant. And I was like, I think we were 10 or 12 or something like that at his meet and greet. And he went round robin around the table. He asked each person where they were from, and at each town. And I'm not saying everybody was like, it wasn't like, "I'm from New York, I'm from LA." No, it wasn't like, it was like literal dust towns. He knew a restaurant.
That's so cool.
I was impressed.
Wow.
I was impressed.
That is
if you needed any more reason to be in love with Mark Sheppard, there it fucking is for you. Oh my god, what a sweetheart. Oh, I love him so much.
Yeah, that's great. I might have to do a meet and greet just to say, "Okay, I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. What you got, buddy?"
Yeah, you're gonna have to now. You're gonna be like, "Tell me something about my city."
And he was the only one that allowed pictures at his meet and greet.
Oh, nice.
Aww.
Yeah,
I love that.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Alrighty then. Last question. We don't have a last question song, unfortunately. We tried to license Jensen, but but this has got nothing to do with supernatural or fanfic or fandom or anything else. But adults don't ask other adults this question enough, and I am on a one mortal mission to change that. So, Crowleysmistress, what is your favorite dinosaur?
Okay. Again, I don't have a lot of media references. So I was like, what's the name of that big movie that everybody references when
Jurassic
they talk to you
Park?
about it?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So I haven't watched that movie. I have not watched that movie, and so I cannot reference it.
Okay.
I know that everybody talks about it, but I have. So I was like, "Oh shit!" So I watched the only one that I watched with dinosaurs is the kids movie, The Good Dinosaur.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, that one's cute," and I thought it was a Brontosaurus, but I googled it, and it's not. It's an Apatosaurus. Okay?
Yes.
And so whatever, Google made me check and whatever, and they told me that they're similar but not the same. It's a different category. They're cousins, blah, blah, blah. But I decided that I still want to go with Brontosaurus because I like the name more. I like the long neck. Sam has long neck. So Brontosaurus.
I'm fully in for that. I love that. Sandra's favorite dinosaur is in the similar genus there, isn't it? The Brachiosaurus.
Yeah. Well, I think when I grew up, it was always Brontosaurus anyway. Then they kept so I think it might have been
Brontosaurus.
Changed
the name a few times.
Yeah, they've changed.
It's the same. It's got the big long neck and the beautiful
big
face.
long neck. Yes. Big
That's
long
it.
neck.
I saw the pictures on Google, and the Apatosaurus actually has more of a it's more geometrically, like it's like the face is more squarish.
And
but
I
it's
think
not
that's
really-
what's in Jurassic Park. So I think that's like, that's like the kind of thing that I would say, like, either Apatosaurus or I think Brontosaurus. Yeah. But the long neck, long neck is the
doesn't
silly
look too
thing for
different.
me. Yeah.
If you do have a couple of hours to spare, I don't know why the fuck you would. You're so goddamn busy. I would encourage you to watch the first Jurassic Park movie. Don't bother with the sequels, and don't bother with Jurassic World. But the first Jurassic Park movie is great, and there is a really beautiful scene with a Brachiosaurus in that, and it acts like a puppy, and it's so fucking cute. So I would, if you find a couple of hours to spare, and you're like, I don't have anything else going on right now, I would encourage you to watch the first Jurassic Park movie. Ignore the rest.
Talking about puppies and just in general, because you said that you don't like season 12. I did want to put a plug in that there is puppy play in season 12.
Where?
Just so you know.
Where? Now Kasey wants to know where.
Yeah.
Crowley and Casper.
Oh my god, there is. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. That blocks it out.
He has to lick the floor.
And he's wearing that awful shirt.
The collar.
There's 12.
Yeah.
There's twice. There's 2 scenes.
Yeah.
There's 2 scenes.
Blocked that out. Disdain for Mary Winchester ruined all of season 12 for me. Oh my god, there is.
Season 12, there's a couple of good things in there, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. You should give it a reconsider.
Well,
I'll get to it on my
Kasey,
rewatch.
It's Wet Sam being tortured is kind of hard to,
It's hard to pass over
hard to
and
pass up. Yeah.
And I know that, obviously it's terrible Sam has to suffer with that British chick, but it is, when we talk about bodily autonomy, it is good that people do recognize that he was violated there versus they don't recognize it like with Ruby, or they don't even recognize it sometimes with Lucifer. They do recognize it with the British bitch.
Yeah.
And there's that and there is that puppy play with Crowley and Casper. That's top level. There's really Rowena going all gaga over Lucifer. I mean, season 12 has some good stuff. And I know you don't like Mary, but the ending of season 12 is Mary beating Lucifer.
That's true. That's true. I will. I'm not going to skip the season when I get to it. I will watch it again, but I will watch it with fresh eyes now, I think, especially when it comes to Mary.
Just putting a plug in.
Well, I'm currently in season 7, so it'll be a minute before I get there.
We gotta get over the season 7 hump. I think that's what we gotta do.
Yeah,
for that one.
season 7
hump.
You can keep watching it.
Yeah, season 7. I mean, season 7 is salvageable because of the House of her arc, but
yeah,
it's hard.
Have you seen the episode where Sam's in the mental institute and he's in like soft clothes?
But see,
he's so tired.
But then there's maggots there, so that should be turning you off too. Like no maggots.
No, that's just that one little scene. That's just that one little scene that I'm like, oh my god. The Sam in his soft, grippy sock clothes makes up for it so much.
Yeah.
It really does. And he's like, also, can we talk about what a Bamfy is? Just real quick. He's balls to the wall, absolutely bug fuck nuts, right? And he still manages to solve a case. And he is absolutely off his cracker. Like, man is a goddamn champion.
That's how we deal with it. We don't. That's how we do it. This has been so much fun talking about all these different topics. There's so many more topics we have to talk about with you. We will have you back. But I kind of wanted to end it because we did, eventually we got ourselves to the fanfic part, which is great. I know we could still talk about it more. But I think I wanted to ask you, like, just kind of to close it out, for somebody who's like thinking about doing a bang or is just interested in just writing something like, say, supernatural, like maybe they've just been reading for a long time. They have an idea. What advice would you give someone to just get started and put pen to paper if maybe they haven't written anything before, but they feel like they want to? What kind of advice would you give them?
So I think that the best thing is probably, obviously, the trite information is like, oh, just do it. No, I think that community is really important, and you cannot underestimate the power of pressure. So yeah, so like getting in a bang or getting in a class or getting in something that makes you do it is really good. So yeah, enroll in a continuing education class for writers, or get in a bang, or do one of these like mood board and with a deadline that you have to write 500 words or something like that. I think those are all really great ways to obligate yourself. And if you see that you're not alone, because there's other people in that class, in that bang, in that, mood board deadline, or, the fan fiction or the pond or whatever, it's going to really spur you towards doing that.
I like that. Don't underestimate the power of pressure. That's really good. I like that.
Good. That's going to be the episode title.
That's going to be the episode title. I already see it. I thought maybe it's still a brownie was going to eke itself out, but I think don't underestimate the power of pressure is a really, really, really good one. I did want to just thank you for taking the time to give us so much information and material that we can come back to again when we have you back to go over some more stuff. Well, we are going to let you go because we've kept you for more than 2 hours.
You guys do your stuff.
But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We appreciate
and giving
the
us
chat.
Your time. Yes.
It's been a pleasure.
All
you guys
right.
have a wonderful day. Enjoy
You too.
the rest of your evening, Kasey. The rest of your afternoon, Sandra.
Thank you.
And then bye. Have fun.
All righty.
Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh.
She says Sandra like your mom
She
says
does.
Sandra.
I was going to say something, but I'm like, I'm not going to. It was so cute. I was
So
like,
fucking
Sandra.
cute.
Sandra.
God.
So cute.
It's adorable.
Cute,
Look
cute.
at you guys. That's so cute. Yeah, she's awesome though.
Yes, absolutely.
She's awesome. That was great. And I really love that, like the exploration of Sam and Lucifer's relationship. Because I think like a lot of people write that for the warmth of Sam. And like I'm down with that. Like I'm not disregarding that or saying anything negative about it.
Right.
But I don't particularly like to read warmth. It makes me sad. Fix it. Please. I go through enough.
Yeah.
So that idea of fate versus free will, which is something we've touched on so many times. And that if Sam rejects Lucifer, he's almost, he is turning his back on a part of himself, even though he's sort of like keeping himself, but he's not whole. It's so fucking interesting. I can't wait to dive into their fix and see how they explore this.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
good.
Absolutely. I like that and I know that like Crowleysmistress, like, I know it might not be your guys' thing, but I think it's nice to let people know that, just because it's not like our like ship or our pair that like, we don't have like a one true pairing in certain situations. Like we're open to everybody's idea of what their, OTP is, which I think is great. They're just, we want to hear these things. We wouldn't have people on if otherwise. So I think that's really great.
But yeah, no, that is part of the reason that we talk to all these different authors and different people in the fandom, is because we want these different points of view. Like our favorite thing is not your favorite thing, and that's fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Tell me about your favorite thing. I want to hear all about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we do. We thank Crowleysmistress for coming on. And yes, all the best of luck. All these bangs. It sounds like it's completely under control from their scheduling. But yes. 17? I think
17 bangs. That's a lot of bangs.
Man, my stomach's gurgling just thinking about it. It's like, wow, that is a lot of pressure, but it seems like they work well under it. So,
yep.
Yeah,
that's people thrive in all different environments.
They do.
I would be so stressed. I'd be paralyzed with stress. But if it's working for Crowleysmistress, then we send her all the love and support, and we can't wait to read what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
So for now, we have had a bit of a long day recording, so we are going to wrap up this episode, but we want to thank you for listening and let us know what you thought. You can email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com. You can comment on Spotify in the Q&A section, leave a YouTube comment, join our Discord, and chat with fellow idlers and us in real time. Check out our merch store, which is another fun way to show your support. You can find details for everything on our website. That's idlingintheimpala.com. Want to fuel our supernatural road trip? Consider joining us on Ko-fi for as little as $1 a month. We have perks to go along with different membership tiers, and would love to have you along for the ride.
Speaking of perks, we've got special shout-outs for some of our Ko-fi members. From our Shotgun Picks and Music tier, we've got Runaway Dreamer, Crowleysmistress, Sam and Dean 76, and Elia. From our own Mrs. Butters tier, we've got Charlie. Thanks for picking the tunes in the car and keeping the lights on in the bunker. Support like yours keeps our podcast going. Thanks. Don't forget, though, you can always support us for free by liking, commenting, subscribing on YouTube, and following, rating, sharing on audio platforms. Engagement like that really helps us with the algorithms. All hail their benevolence. As always, we have the causes we support in the description. So from me, you have LGBTQ plus talking charities. From Sandra, you have mental health charities. And of course, the main causes that we are always highlighting, championing, spotlighting are World Central Kitchen and Docs Without Borders. If you want to know more about these causes, why we're supporting them, and what they mean to us, check out idlingintheimpala.com. There's a page there called Causes Cause with all the details. So with that, we will say huge thanks to Crowleysmistress for joining us. Thank you for joining us in the back seat, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.